Hello.
Welcome to Live with Springfield Leather.
Take
It's
two.
working this time.
Beautiful. We have
Hey,
sound.
This is my note that Windows 11 sucks.
Tony would like
Windows 10.
Windows 10 back.
Excuse me, Mr. Microsoft, can we
yeah.
keep Windows 10?
He would like to put in an official complaint with Microsoft. Thank you so much for listening.
As Tony says, call your senator.
Call your senator and complain about Windows 11. Alrighty. So a few weeks ago, like you guys missed as we were talking because you couldn't hear us, we had talked about the Class 26. So today, Ryan is back and we're going to, well, he's been back. Ryan's great. We're having fun. Denny's off and we got Ryan and it's wonderful.
I'm the Denny B team. It works out perfect.
I love it. And so today we're going to do a Class 4 demonstration, but just be aware that if you buy a Class 3, everything is the same. It's just shorter.
Yep, more or less the same machine. This one's just got a big throat on it.
Got a long neck.
Long neck.
Long neck. So yeah, these are cylinder arm machines like the 26, but they are way heavier duty. I had briefly said before, but we have sewn through 1/8" plywood and a penny with this type of machine, and it's don't get your finger under it.
Yeah, because it don't care.
I've sewn through my finger on a 26. It didn't know the difference between leather and hand. This thing won't either.
It doesn't know pre-tan versus post-tan leather. It'll and probably bone doesn't make a big difference.
And the needles on this are no joke, as you can see it from there, which is not normal for a sewing needle. They're massive. But those big needles, this big machine, this is your saddle work machine. Like, that is going to be the A game for it. Sewing in your skirts, sewing in your linings, your stirrup leathers, all that stuff, this will do it. Holsters, sheaths, things like that. The 3 would probably be better if you're just doing those, because you won't need all this space. You'll just be about here or so.
Yeah, if you guys are looking at like price point options, like be like,
pretty
okay,
steep between the two.
yeah, like what am I making? And then decide, okay, do I actually need that throat length, or will most of my materials be on the outside of things and I won't need to get into the neck very much?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when you're doing big stuff like sewing your lining to saddle skirting, the bigger neck helps because you've just got more room to wrestle that giant piece of half-inch leather around.
Or, you know, if you're possibly doing like bigger bags, like if you're doing saddle bags and things like that, you know, it's nice to be able to have a little bit of rotating room. I mean, Cobra also, or Leather Machine also stocks what they call a King Cobra, which is the same basic machine, but it's a 25
about up to here.
Inch throat. So if you really need some throat space, you could go with the King.
What always kills me with those is they're on the same sort of table as this.
So...
And there's no, like, extra leg, and it looks like it needs one. They crack me up. Those machines look hilarious.
What's the 7?
The 7 is that crazy one that I was telling you about that's like a toothpick that sews through, like, an inch plus leather. We had one of them out on retail for a long time. I don't even know what you would use it for.
I think the Amish took that one.
Did they? It was a stupid expensive machine. That thing was scurry. Like
scurry.
We didn't carry the needle system, so it was literally like an ice pick going through your leather.
I guess boot soles, but I don't know.
I don't even know.
Usually you get your Landis for that, but this is the machine we're doing today.
Yeah. Nobody needs a class 7.
Someone does. I just haven't met
2 of you might. Not here. I guarantee it's nobody in our chat is going to need a class 7.
So I'm going to go ahead and do just like I did with the 26. Basically, when a customer comes in and says, hey, I want to buy one of these, how do I use it? Here's that demo. So same thing as with the other machines we sell, they come with this dual thread stand. These things are awesome because if you've got your tabletop bobbin winder, you can have a bobbin winding the whole time you're sewing. Don't want me just like chopping in front of your face.
I'm just like, Isaac's going to need to zoom in and I'm going to be right there, and that's not where I want it to be.
So we come up over the top. Isaac's getting a nice close shot for you.
What are you messing with? That thing?
Threading it around this end to the needle. So starting up here, this is just like the 26. You've got your little thread post here. Just helps get things ready to go through the rest of the system. Same as last time, just kind of a half twist around it to get you a little straightening on your thread. Then the threading on this is very different, so will be this region now.
Go wider?
Wider, yeah. Yeah, all the way to here if we could. Whoop! There we go. That'll do it. So here you can see our whole tension system. So unlike the 26, where it's right up on the front, the 3 and 4, your tension system is on the back and side of the machine. So when you start threading this thing, you've got a little guide right behind this tension wheel. And you're going to come up and over. Go down to your next one. And there's 2 little guides here. And you want to use both of those. So you go down through your first one, bring it around, and around again. So you do that wind and a half on the 3 and 4. You don't ever do that on your class 26, class 20, anything like that. But these have a big space here where that layered thread is meant to run. So make sure you get your lap and a half around that. And then something very important I forgot this morning, come up to your take-up arm. That's why I thought the machine was broken for a while. I was like, well, this video is going to be interesting. So come up through your take-up arm from back to front. So on the 26th, this is the arm that sticks out the front and pulls your stitches. It's just very hidden over here on the side. Release my tension, pull some extra thread. Then you've got this little guide here, just has a slot cut out that you just sort of fish the thread through. Don't catch it on everything else. There we go. And then another little pigtail right down here. And with these, if you're using not 277 thread, you can just kind of pull it through and like spiral it through that pigtail. But with this thick thread, it's not going to do that. So you just go right down through there. And then on the side of the needle, as opposed to the front, you have a hole right there. Not terribly visible, but you can kind of see the cutout.
Yeah, just on the end of the
Yeah,
where you
that
put
little
the needle
flat
in.
platform that
Yeah.
sticks out next to the needle. Whereas on the 26, yeah, it's right in front and comes out with the needle. It's kind of a totally different machine.
What?
And then through your needle, out to the left. Or off to the right, rather, if you're on the correct side. In from the left, and through your needle.
Outside to inside.
Outside in, because yeah, your whole machine is in here, not out here. So once you've got that threaded, it's time to put your bobbin in. You've got this big case here. Oh, sorry. And I like the remove set. So just turns about 20 degrees to pop loose. The bobbins for these are much larger. Great big guys. Oh, there we go. So huge bobbins on these machines. You want to run it in with a counterclockwise wrap. So like I said with the 26, P, not Q. And there's that little bitty trigger right there you've got to lift to kick that bobbin case out. So once you've got it out, put your bobbin in. Around to the slot on the side.
You're good.
And then, get my hand out of the way in a second. Oh, machine's fighting me.
It's stout. The tension on this thing is legit.
Yes. So, wrestle it around this slot here and into that eye right there, which is not focusing. There we are. So it'll come out right there on that eye. And now your bobbin is in place. Gonna just click it back in. And then same as any machine, you've got to pick up that bobbin thread. You guys will get to see this machine run. It's pretty neat. The bobbin just rocks back and forth. Alright, so now we're set up. Put our cover back on, because in here is your bobbin with lots of little metal edges, as well as your hook, which on a sewing machine will maintain. That hook is extremely sharp. So I like to sew with this cover on personally, because I get very lazy with where I'm holding my hands. That's why I've sewn through one before.
Plus, it just prevents dust from getting in and all sorts of things. And you don't want that space to get dirty. That's not where you want any sort of debris.
No, your bobbin case is a very sensitive little area.
Yeah.
So now we've got it threaded and we're ready to start sewing. These ones, we sell a roller edge guide that is really different from your Class 26 drop-down guide and Class 20. But it's just this little roller that pops on and off.
Super handy when you're sewing belts or all sorts of things.
It's very, very sturdy because you do have to mess with this knurled screwed every time to get it in the right spot. But once you've got it,
I can't remember.
It's correctly threaded, but it's upside down, so it feels reverse threaded.
Yeah.
So watch for that. But once you've got it where you want it and get that just cinched down finger tight, it's not going to go anywhere on you. And when you get to a point where you don't need your guide, you can push it out of the way. And then sew
lovely,
wild and free, and then pop it back in when you're ready. So I'm going to leave it right about there for me. Actually, I'll get it out of the way so you guys can see the needle to start with. Not all the way. Oh, not threading. All right. So on these machines, your stitch length, instead of being a wheel, is this big lever over here, and we'll get into that in a minute, but for now we'll just show the stitching. Being a really heavy-duty machine, the way I like to show these off is with just some veg tan bellies. So this is a strip I cut out of a belly. Thanks, Liz.
We're at 8/9 ounce.
So 8/9. So I've got 2 layers of 8/9 here. Herman oak veg, just nothing special about it.
About a ½ inch of leather.
Yep.
Probably maybe a little bit more.
And you can tell, as with a lot of industrial machines, if it fits under the foot and needle, it should be able to sew it. We've got a lot of headroom still.
Yeah, this will go up to around 1 inch.
Yeah. And then servo motor, so I can still crawl along if I want.
Hold your threads.
Yes.
Hold your threads. Hold your threads. There's so much tension on these machines.
Yes.
It's just gonna pull them right out.
Oh. Now it's not cooperating. That's fun. It just bound up on me. Big. Okay, we will try again. So that is the fun thing, is if you don't spend a lot of time with these machines, they don't know you, they don't trust you.
Amen. Machines scare me.
And this one I don't use much, so it doesn't trust me. Alright, trying again. I'm going to pull out some extra thread for myself to hold on to. Ooh, that feels stuck.
Are we under our bobbin?
No?
No?
No.
Also, remember, make sure your thread, if you have issues, start with the bobbin and then
No,
Or your
retrace.
spool.
Oh, your spool. Right, your spool.
Yeah.
And then retrace.
It's binding in this neighborhood. Okay, not there. Where did it
Are we in? You're inside your.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
Oh, is it not under the spring?
No, that's just an eyelet. Just a guide. Doesn't do anything. Did it pinch in between layers? It did. It went between layers on my little guide there. Sorry, folks. Operator error.
Yeah, this is a heavy stitcher. This is not meant to sew lightweight, delicate items.
Yes.
Once again, from that needle size, like that is the hole that you're putting in. Somebody brought up watch bands. No.
No.
Unless you're sewing like the chunkiest, like one of those watch bands that looks like a belt. I mean, and then
And
maybe
it's like a half-inch thick?
yeah.
So the class 4 lists for just under $3,400.
The standard package.
Yes, the
Okay.
standard class 4 with no electronic needle positioning system.
Yup. Alright. So now we're going to go in again and make sure I did it right this time. So that is one thing to watch. With this having more guides and a more complex tension system, there are more things that I can do wrong while I'm running my thread. So it's always important to check. So again, start sewing. And you can tell this thing is louder than a Class 26, but it's also a bigger machine. But it did not even feel like it was doing any work on that. Oof, tension.
There's a lot of tension on this.
But now we've got a big old 277 stitch line right through this leather. Didn't slow down, didn't phase it. That roller guide, like I said, it's just as good as any other roller guide, but I think it stays put a lot better. Are you watching questions?
Yep.
Yeah, I know, Brad Bailey, I broke it. But also I fixed it.
He
so.
did fix it.
Good segment on troubleshooting.
Yeah. Good segment on why I act like an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. Alright, so now with that roller guide, it's same as any other roller. You just keep your project against it and cruise. I personally think these machines sew better looking stitches than the 26. But the problem is you've got to want and need that really heavy thread and really heavy material. Because this stitch, I mean, you're almost getting that diamond stitch like hand sewing or something on the back.
And that's the back.
And then a nice, clean, really sunk in stitch on the front.
Yeah.
Because that tension is so high, it really pulls it down in there. And with it, I mean, it is a tough stitch. Back stitching on this is a little easier again than the 26 because you don't have to hold anything in place. So the big lever off to the side.
So much tension.
I know. So this big lever, yep, thanks Isaac, over yonder. This is your stitch length as well as your reverse. So you can see it's got the R at the top and then 0, 4, 6. These are your reference numbers, just like the wheel on the 26s. They're not going to be
They don't mean
stitches
anything.
per inch, but 6 today will be 6 tomorrow on your machine. The way you adjust this is a lot less precise feeling, but once you get the hang of it, it's not sloppy at all. You've got to loosen this little screw here, and now this arm can be lowered until it stops. And if you want longer stitches, loosen it further. Now I'm sewing forwards, longest possible stitch length, backwards, longest possible stitch length, and it stays in reverse as long as I leave it there.
That is a lot nicer than the 26.
It's huge.
Yeah, not having to hold down that bar.
Well, and sometimes when you're sewing something just really funky, you need to sew it backwards. So I'm going to go for a little longer stitch here so they're nice and visible. So we were around 6, now I'm around 8. And I'll show you the back stitching on this machine. ideally does like any machine's backstitch, where it's going to hit the same holes if you time it right. So I like to wait until that needle is on its way up, almost fully out of the leather. Then I'll push that lever into reverse, and we go backwards. I missed. I was using the rail, but the point stands. Oh.
Give me my leather back.
So you can see before I curved off course, those stitches went right back in the same spot. You can't even hardly tell on camera there's 2 threads there, but I assure you there are. So this stitch length you can see is about twice the length of the previous. So these adjustments are pretty fine over here on the lever. You can get a lot of variation in there. Let's see, you got any...
Yeah, somebody said that they had some knocking in their bobbin. Do you have any troubleshooting for that?
So the first thing I always think of is just go ahead and rethread your bobbin. Just first step. But generally what that's going to be on this machine is you either need a little more oil or it's a little dirty. Because in this case, there's really just the one moving part, which is your entire bobbin carriage. It spins back and forth like that. So if you've got knocking, it's either just a little dry, or honestly, these bigger machines are just noisier. So it depends on how severe of a knocking is, kind of like, is your car rattling or is it really rattling? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest putting anything in it.
No. I would say use your normal oil points. Don't go anywhere different.
Well, let's talk about that just while we're talking about oiling.
Yeah. Just like the 26 and everything else, we've got these oil ports all over the machine marked with red paint, which is very kind of them. There's probably, looks like about a dozen of them on here. And then on the back, we don't have a visible oil wick on these machines because a lot of the larger pieces up in the head of the machine are actually greased. So when you're working with that greased area, if you see some like white machine grease in a little gap, don't go spraying machine oil in there because it'll wash that grease off and cause more problems. But generally, put oil in the oil ports every 8 to 10 hours of runtime, and you'll be right as rain. Let's see. And if it's doing knocking in the bobbin or back in the motor head or something like that, but it's sewing fine, it's probably fine, just complaining. These machines just like to make racket. I see another question here for, can the 26 use 277? The manufacturer recommends up to 207. I have run 277 on the top, and it does fine. You can tell it's a little thick for a lot of your tension guides and things like that, so I wouldn't do it all the time. I wouldn't count on it every time, but it can. I don't advise it professionally. But this machine, I've had people tell me they've got theirs to run down to 138. I think that is 138 to 436 is like the recommended manufacturer recommendations. I've never seen the thread that goes to the top end of this.
Yeah, we only carry up to 346.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it goes one size higher than that. Yeah. But the really cool thing that I was able to do today is I was able to set up the top thread and the bottom thread with 277. So on a 26, even if you can use 277 on top, it'll never run through your bobbin. This, no complaints on the bobbin.
Yeah.
Oof, get myself some more thread. There we go. All right, let me see. So the 4 does have its own special bobbin winder. And I will be very honest with you all. I have never gotten the hang of this one. So it has a tension wheel up top. You thread your thread through, down to your bobbin goes on this spindle. You engage it to start turning. I've played with them before. I played with it again for about 20 minutes this morning, and I just couldn't get the hang of it, couldn't get it to wrap a bobbin fully for me. So we do carry the table-mounted bobbin winders, just like the 26. Those mount and operate the same. So really, I don't know if we need to cover that again today, or, well, yeah. I guess we should. People may not have seen it. So I'll show you that real quick on the bobbin winder. Liz, you want to jazz for me a little bit, just riff?
Yeah, let's see here. So once again, so this machine, like, this is your heavy sewing stuff. It does not like to go lightweight. In fact, like, if you try to run like one piece of like 5/6 or like lightweight leathers through it or something upholstery, it may not even make the stitch. Like, it's just going to be like, there's nothing in here. What are you doing?
Ellen has said she's sewn like Milano bags on this, and I don't believe her.
Well,
No, I do. But
well, and there's the thing is, you can, like, there was somebody that was like doing like denim pants. They were doing some alteration on denim, and it was like 1 or 2 layers of denim, which is super thin. And so they had adjusted the tension in the machine specifically for that job, and then they never changed it.
That's what Ellen was saying about the bags too, is she had to rework the whole tension system, and then it would be too hard to go back.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you're a machine person and you have a specific thing and there's something like, you do you.
Yeah.
And you play with it. But like, as a general rule, this is for heavyweight materials. You don't want to be going back and forth on tensions in that such like in such an extreme measure of where you're sewing backside leathers and then you're like, I'm gonna go sew a saddle.
Yeah.
No. You're gonna ruin something, you're gonna knock it out of time. Like, you're gonna end up with way more problems than is worth for the average person. And so, like, the 3 and 4s are really amazing. They will sew up to an inch almost with like no qualms.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're just gonna go, once again, it comes with a servo motor and a speed reducer, which means you drive it like a car. You can still go snail slow and it will still complete the stitch, which is super nice. That's a big bonus. Let's see here.
No, I'm ready to start doing the bobbin
you do
now.
bobbin.
Yeah.
I riffed for long enough.
Thank you
He's ready.
so much. So yeah, one thing you can't see is the pedals on this machine. It is a 2-pedal machine, much like the 26. So you've got your gas pedal and your foot lifter, which also disengages your tension. On this machine, it doesn't disengage your tension as much as I'd like it to, but it still does. It's funny on this one, though, instead of just a pin that pushes the disc out, there's a little arm you get to watch swing in between the tension discs. It's neat. But bobbin winder, so I'll show you that. Tony, if we can go to the Isaac cam. Oh, you got it. Thank you, sir. Same as on the 26 tailed mount bobbin winder, comes up through your thread stand, down to your eyelet, around your tension discs. And then I still enjoy doing it where you go from the...
You're good.
Okay, cool. Right over here? Perfect. All right. Sorry, I had to get an idea of where the camera was. So I still like to come in from the inside of the bobbin, out one of those holes, and these have just individual holes inside. And then along the axle of the bobbin again. So this is the same way I've done before, where it locks your thread against this spindle.
But don't get it in that slot, right?
Right, if you get it in that slot, it just won't actually lock it in place.
Won't do what you need it to do.
Yep. And engage with the machine. Engage. Oh, my bobbin's not all the way seated. Oh, yeah, something I learned today I did not know before today. There's a little pin on your bobbin winder that I'm not even going to be able to point out on camera, but it's right there, if anyone can see that. That is very important. The hole on the side of your bobbin going towards the winder needs to line up with that pin, or else your bobbin is not on all the way, and your auto kickoff will just not allow you to start winding. Come on. Oh, why does it not love me? There we go. Okay, now we got it lined up. You can see I've closed that gap between those pieces.
Yay!
Hey, I swear
It doesn't reject you.
Yeah, I use 26s all the time. I use the 3 and 4 like twice a year. So, as always, lift your foot before you start winding a bobbin if you're not sewing, because if you leave that foot down, you're just beating metal on metal with your feed dog, and that wears it out.
And we took out the bobbin that was in the holder.
Yes.
So if you do have a bobbin that is in, remove the thread from just whatever.
You can get the machine out of stitching mode if you're not going to continue stitching.
Right. Yeah. And we're using the same spool that we were sewing with, so we don't have that. So if you were not doing that, then go ahead and remove, yeah, all the way up to the this guy, right?
Past the take-up arm, yeah.
Past the take-up arm.
And then, yeah, just like normal, gas and go. And now you can get a good idea of the volume of this machine, I think. Yeah. They're louder machines, but they're doing a lot harder work. And I'm not going to fill this one all the way because Denny never uses black thread, and this is primarily a Denny machine. Snip my thread, pull it off of here. So with the 277, it's a little snug running it through the axle there, but you're not going to hurt anything as long as you support the parts you're pulling against.
Yeah.
These are, as Liz was talking, adjusting these, they can really get away from it and cause some problems. It's not that they're some super sensitive machine. They are just the next tier of industrial machine. So when you start getting more into truly like production style industrial machines, they're made to do one thing all day, every day. And they are harder to adjust because they stay in place better. Did that make any sense?
I think so. And I think it's also like these machines have to, especially with, the speed reducer and the servo motor work in combination so that you can slow so slowly and still make a tight, even stitch. And so in order to do that, these machines run on very, very intense tensions.
Yep.
And so just like every time he was trying to pull that thread through, you want to make sure that you're not pulling the thread against the needle. This is a really stout needle, but make sure you're coming down through the foot and then pulling off of the foot because there is a ton and you'll just snap those needles. Yep. You want to make sure that you have everything in place, run some tests because if you once again, this machine is just so stout. So if you hit that gas pedal and something is a little bit off, and you come down, it's gonna break itself. It'll throw itself out of time. Probably easier than the 26 or the 20. Yep.
I mean, it's like driving a huge truck versus like a compact truck.
Yeah.
If you get really pushing a smaller vehicle as hard as you can, you're probably not going to hurt anything because it'll just run out of steam before you get there. But a big work truck or something like that, or like a big semi-truck, those are made to push hard in very specific circumstances. So if you do it not in the right circumstances, it will break itself.
Let's see, what is this thing?
I don't know. I'm going to be real with you, I don't know.
Does anybody know what this is? It looks like something you could put thread through.
Right, it looks like a thread guide, but I don't know what for.
Interesting. Let's talk about adjusting your tension.
Yes. So adjusting the tension on this one is on the back of the machine. Oh. So I'll spin around so Isaac can see. Let's leave the thread. We don't need that right now. There we go. Okay, spin. There we go. Perfecto. So this here is your tension. You've got the guides elsewhere that, just maybe like 26, looks like tension discs. But these are the only ones that actually hold tension. So I had someone ask if I can run through the tension discs again. They don't think theirs is right. So, thread guide for the bobbin winder, they say, on that little...
Maybe that's why it didn't work for you. Right. Can somebody walk us through this bobbin winder situation?
Looks like I'm the problem with this machine. So we're going to come up to here again. You've got a little guide behind your tension discs. Find my thread. Come up over the top of your tension and down between the discs. And that is how you thread it through there. And then as you progress down, you're going to go through here. Hey, come on. Right, 277 won't pull through. Down here, and this is always the weird part, is go all the way around and out again, instead of just passing by it. This little guy. Which runs up to your take-up arm. and then down to the needle. So when adjusting your tension, this is the only screw you need to care about. Same as the others, lefty loosey, righty tighty, from facing it. So if you're in front of the machine, it's going to feel reverse threaded, but if you just stand around behind it, it'll be normal. Just keep it in mind, if you seem, you got knots on the top and they keep getting worse even though you're trying to loosen your tension, you're probably actually tightening your tension. It's just not the way your brain expects it to be.
So twist it the other way.
Yep.
How sensitive is that? Is it, do you spin it a lot?
It's still pretty small adjustments.
Okay.
It's not going to be like one or two little ticks like on like a small fabric machine. But it's also not, crank it down 5 or 6 times. So you can see now those discs are nice and tight together. If I push my foot lifter, that little arm comes in and splits them at the bottom.
Look at that.
So that is what removes your tension. Whoop. Whereas on the 26, it's just a little pin you can't even see. So this, I think, is way more fun. So that's your tension adjustment. Just like any sewing machine, if you can see the little knot poking out of the hole from your stitching, if it's on the top of your project, your top tension is too tight.
Okay.
If it's on the bottom of your project, the top tension is too loose. And you'll notice I didn't say bobbin tension at any point, because that is what it is. If you get really familiar with the machine, learn a lot about them, you may need to adjust it at some point.
Just like we were talking, like Ellen may have adjusted her bobbin tension to run her Milano backside through, but we're not gonna educate you guys on how to do that.
That's beyond my ability to help you fix it over the phone, so I'm not gonna teach you how to do it over video. Because that's always kind of my thought on this, is you guys can mess with them as much as you want. They're industrial machines, they're made to be learned. But I just can't teach it all to you. It's got to be in your hands after a point. The foot lifter on this machine, or like your held lift, is this great big knob right here. So instead of having that tiny metal lever that you got to try and wrench your thumb under, it's just this huge guy. Push it away from you, keeps that foot up. And when you're ready to go, it comes back down. And you can tell it's not just the tension in the machine, it is the spring pushing your walking foot down. Something I noticed on the 26 when I sewed through my finger is the pressure of the foot was worse than the needle going through my finger by a long shot. So I can't imagine on this machine, because it also has a little, something really different on these machines, is they've got a little nubbin on the underside of your foot, which is part of what is seating those stitches as you go. So as you do each stitch, that foot is pushing almost an indention into your leather right behind the stitch.
It's almost like a stitching groove, but it's not cutting anything.
Right. It's just cramming it into the leather.
Let's talk about that. So if you do have too much of a foot mark on your project, how can you release some of that pressure?
That'll be right up here. So right up here, this is the same post you'll see sticking out of the top of a 3, 4, 26, but not 20s. It is your foot tension. So you've got a lock ring there. You undo and turn this here. So the way to think about how this is working is the way it works. There's a spring between here and your foot that is causing that tension. If you squish this post down, you're preloading that spring, so it's going to have more tension as it's going, or like it's going to push harder as it goes. If you make it really tall, you've, put less compression on the spring, so it doesn't have as much force to work with, because springs are all fun in physics.
Yeah. Which is also like, don't sew while your leather is wet.
Yes.
Because then you're going to get a super extreme mark in your leather. These machines, much more than your lighter weight stitchers, are going to create a foot impression on your leather. So, do what you can to alleviate that. You can change the pressure a little bit. Once again, don't sew while it's wet or while you've got moisture in it, coming off of tooling too soon, because then you're just going to have a terrible mark. But then you can also go through, whenever you're done, you can hammer out that seam a little bit or take a modeling tool and try to, at that point, you might even wet the edge of the leather a little bit if it's too bad, and then just kind of rub out some of those foot marks. Let's see here. Everything is smooth on the bottom, right? There's no serrations or anything
Right.
to grab.
Yeah, any leather sewing machine is
They're all smooth.
gonna have a smooth foot and a smooth feed dog.
Yeah.
You'll notice the feed dog is way larger, and we've got a different plate system than we have on a 26. The reason for that is we sell additional plates for these machines. So we've got holster plates, some other ones I can never remember what they are.
There's a couple different places. You can find them on the website.
There's a lot of really specialized parts for this machine and
Yeah.
really specialized applications that I've not run into. So
I feel like one of them is
really
like
not a lot of
skirts, like specifically
skirting plate or
sewing on,
something,
yeah,
yeah.
like saddle skirting plate, something like
Yeah.
that. And then the holster one, and the holster one is really nice. So you can kind of see how much it hangs over. So the thing that you need to think about with this, and especially like whenever you're designing your projects, is like I make knife sheaths, right? So when I make my sheath, I typically have like a 1/4-inch welt or something like that. It's so hard with this machine to sew such a narrow allowance. Yeah. And then you also have to be aware that there's a pretty significant hole in here. And so if you're trying to sew an 1/8 inch from the edge of something, that is probably not going to go well. And you'll end up kicking the backside of your leather into this slot, and then you're going to blow out the side.
Yep.
Which is depressing when you're at the sewing stage of a knife sheath. So
boy, I know that.
Yeah. So if you've gone from hand sewing and you're like, okay, I have enough work now that I'm going to buy a sewing machine and I'm going to get one of these heavy stitchers because I'm doing holsters or knife sheaths or whatever, you might kind of redesign a little bit how you're doing, add a little bit of seam allowance to your edge, add a little bit of welt, or get the specialized plates, because you do need to, you'll just need to do a little bit of R&D with your project so that you're not falling into this slot, because there's so much pressure as the feet come down that it will tend to kick it into the slot, and then you're going to be mad at everything.
Yeah, both of the walking feet are every bit as narrow as they are on the 26. So they really want to push your leather down in there.
Yeah. I guess we can talk about, so all the machines are walking feet. So you have your center foot that comes down and then your other one, and it pulls your material through. So don't manhandle your stuff because it's going to move it for you.
Yep.
If you try,
do the work.
Yeah, if you try too hard to try to maneuver things, you're going to mess up your stitch lengths. And then you might even pull it a little bit, and then when the needle comes down, it's not going to go directly where it needs to go. And then you'll either break the tip, you can knock it out of time. There's many things, so kind of just let it do its own thing. It's going to run.
One thing about the 3 and 4 I really enjoy is the way that feed dog is. It has a long in sense of a feed dog, but like a 1/4-inch slot in it where the needle heads in, which is nice because one, that feed dog is taking bigger steps on this machine. Feed dog is the walking foot on the bottom.
There's a dude in there that moves with you.
And that's the same on every leather machine. You'll see those, they'll just look a little different. But this one being so large helps give you that room for those large steps. But also when you're going through thicker projects, you're going to have some needle deflection. No matter what, it's just going to happen. And that helps not break or mistime your machine every time that happens. Because on a class 20, it is a hole the size of a needle. And if you pull your project a little bit or push it a little bit, you're going to break your needle or throw your machine out of time. On this, you can still do that, but you'd be fairly hard pressed to pull or push harder than the machine is. So just let it do the work.
Yeah.
It knows what it's doing. And then in the bobbin case, one thing I've learned that threw me off for a while is as the needle's coming down.
Tony, whatever that is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So as the needle's coming down.
Tony.
Thank you. It actually rubs against that bar right there. And I had to get Andy. I was like, Andy, I don't know if this is right. That seems way wrong to me that pieces are rubbing. What that's doing is it is getting the needle exactly in the right spot for the hook to come right in. So you'll see it is the hook.
Guiding it.
Yes, it flexes that needle slightly so that the hook can catch your thread. So that is part of why these machines, when working on such thick material with a little bit of needle deflection or things kind of rocking around a little bit, that little feature and the slot in the feed dog is part of what makes these machines as heavy duty as they are.
Yeah. The needles
we
for
go.
this machine are quite a bit more because I think they're about double the price of your flatbed
Yes.
machines.
Now that we're up close, I'll show you one of those again. So that is the kind of needle you're working with on these. As with all sewing machine or leather machine needles, you're going to have the scarf on the inside of the machine and your cutout to the outside of the machine. So you've got this long channel here and your little chunk missing there. That little chunk missing is right where that bobbin hook goes to grab your top thread. And then what that channel's doing in the back is protecting your thread as it punches through the leather. So that is why, especially on this machine, but on all machines, but really on this, get the right size needle for your thread. If you're using 277 and a size 23 needle going through 3/4 inch of saddle skirting, you're going to rip your thread because that needle is not able to protect the thread as it's getting drugged through the leather. And with that much leather, this much tension, this much force, you need that extra security.
Yeah.
So for this 277, I'm running a size 25 needle, which is way larger than a class 26 can use.
Yeah.
I think they go up to 23 or 24.
And we've got 277 top and bottom.
Yes.
This machine, once again, it's a workhorse. So pretty much always you can use the same weight in the bobbin as you do on top. Once again, we don't carry whatever the 400 weight thread is, but that one, like, you might start getting to the point where if you have that 400 weight thread, whatever that it is, that's not the specific size, just caveat, you might step down in the bobbin because the biggest needle might not be happy with what you're doing. You know, just play around with it.
Yeah, those tension systems in the bobbin are all just pinch based instead of these adjustable discs. It's just tight spaces that it has to go through. So that's why on like the 26, when I talk about running 277, I say do not put it on the bobbin because it won't pull through those pinch points.
Yeah.
It will just shred, it will bend pieces. It's bad news. So on this, make sure if it starts to feel like it's fighting too hard as you're trying to pull some bobbin thread loose, downsize it one size and you should be right as rain.
Yep.
Assembling these when we get them in, it's the same as the 26. So everything from the tabletop down is put together. Tabletop up is boxed up. We will help you get it all loaded into whatever vehicle you happen to bring. We've put these in some pretty small cars before. Just my back didn't enjoy it.
We're good crammers here.
I just saw Tony loading a machine into a truck this morning.
And then we have videos of how to put the top side together.
Yep.
Yeah, you're just putting the belt on.
And then flipping the machine,
You can buy a table for it, so you can make it into a flatbed. I think that comes with the premium package. If you get the premium package, otherwise it's $120 something for an additional table that bolts on to these holes.
Yep. As always, I always tell people, if you know you're going to want that, go ahead and get it. If you're not sure if you're going to want it, just wait. We will have them.
Yeah.
On the 26s we used back in R&D, I've seen us pull out the table twice. And once was a 7-foot French seam on a headboard. So it was pretty specialized use for us, but a lot of people really love them.
Yeah.
Sam said it was odd how similar the Cobras are to the cowboy machines, but they're not. All the casts are basically the same. The Juki is the same cast.
Yep.
Cowboy Bob is the same.
Every manufacturer just slaps their own color paint on it, and then they will tweak different things.
A lot of your internal mechanics.
Parts. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Cobra, I really like the mechanical parts they use. I've always found them to be very sturdy, and when I've had to take apart and dig around inside these machines, I've never seen a single part that didn't look like it was made out of the best material they could find to make it out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really the cast part of the machines, the numbers do interchange a little bit. What happened? Do you get some oil in it?
It's dusty.
Just a little greasy with a little dusty.
Like I think the Cobra Class 26 is the Cowboy or the Juki 2600 or something along those lines.
Yeah.
The Cobra Class 3 is the Artisan, was it Toro 3000?
3000 and then 4000
yeah.
or like 3200 something.
So it's one of those things, I think I've said it in videos before, there's like 3 manufacturers in the world of anything.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But then the way they're assembled, the way they're timed, I've never had a Cobra machine come in out of time.
The way they are warranted.
Yeah, the way they're warranted is huge. And we've had a couple people on here in chat just mentioning, they've called Heather before over at Leather Machine Co. Leather Machine Co. is extremely responsive and really good with just direct customer care.
Yeah.
Because we will send people their way. If it gets to a question that's out of, me or Andy or even Jim's depth, we'll say, hey, here's the number for Leather Machine Co. And they will never call us back and say they didn't help.
Yep.
It's usually they called back and said, hey, thanks for pointing me that way. We got it squared.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I think I've about run my...
Is there anything
Run
on
all
the
the
motor
hot
that
right
you
there.
want to point out for the good folks?
Oh, yeah. So
Getting the motor
this
going.
is just something that you've seen these machines before. It's good on the main camera. If you've seen these machines before, Cobra machines, your control box here looks different now. Turn that off so you don't have to see the flashing. So you've got a P and S button here on the sides. That is for if you do the EPS, the needle position. Oh, good gosh, Isaac, look at you. I tried to tell you we didn't need it, but I was wrong. So these are to do with your needle positioning system. If you get that, I would say sit down with the manual. That's not something we've really played with because they are really, really specialized, usually for production work.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's going to connect to your flywheel
Yep.
with a hole. So the flywheel comes with a hole in it, and then you bolt. There's an arm that goes all the way down to the motor, so it can control where you start and stop, or where you stop.
Yeah,
start,
the
whatever.
whole deal with the EPS is you tell it when I let off the gas, this is where the needle parks itself, like height-wise. So, I want it top dead center every time I stop sewing. It will do that. It's awesome if you're sewing the same stitch all day, every day. It's an incredible piece of technology for that.
Yeah.
But if you do a lot of variety of work, it might be helpful, might get in your way, just depends on what you're after. But that is one that I don't think we sell separately, do we? The EPS? I don't think we sell that module separately.
No, I don't think it's separately. You can get it on the machine because the flywheel has to be specific.
Okay.
I think because it does attach somewhere. You can get all of these machines
motor.
with
we have the servo motor with the EPS.
Okay. So
okay,
you
cool.
could buy it
so you
and
get
add
a different motor and add it on.
Sure.
We'll double check that.
It's just the arm because the motor is the same for all of them now.
Right. But without the EPS, these plus and minus buttons are the ones you want to care about. So those will control your machine's RPM on the motor. So if we can go to that. Oh, no, you're good. Thank you. So you can see I'm at 4,300, 42. So I can turn this down to, I think, about 1,200 RPM on the servo motor. And I always recommend people do that when they first get a new machine. Same control box on the other Leather Machine Co. machines we sell. What that does is it sets your top speed of your motor. So when you're learning this machine, I would say if you gas it, it should go slow. That way you don't throw something out of whack or so through your
Especially
hand.
as you're learning how hard or soft to push on the gas pedal.
Yep. And then just over time, you can just push that plus button and start cranking it back up. So the only reason I wanted to point it out specifically is the previous model of controller box that came with these machines didn't have that. It was a weird little knob and button adjustment system directly on the motor, and it was always a bear to talk people through how to set it. They've made it way easier, and I think it's made it a lot better for us to be able to confidently send people out into the world with their machines knowing that they're not going to hurt themselves or their machine.
I was going to say, and if you do have an older model Cobra or whatever that you've got a while ago, you can buy a new motor, and I don't think they're terribly expensive.
Yeah.
So that's something that, if you've had yours for 10 years or whatever, and they've come out with this new one, you can upgrade if you decide that you would like to.
And these new ones don't have the super strong motor brakes that the old ones did. A lot of people with the old 26s and 3s, when the motor was powered, there was electromagnetic brakes inside that motor.
Oh.
So when you went to hand advance the machine to get your needle where you wanted it, it was really, really tough. I had some customers decide not to buy a class 26 because of that.
And also the flywheel on the 26 is super
So
tiny
little,
and it's hard to move.
Yeah, this one, never a problem. But there aren't electric brakes on this that are constantly active, so it's much easier to turn that wheel. Which is great. Like I said, it's prevented people from getting it before. So I think Leather Machine Co.'s done a really good job over the last few years. This table height is somewhere in the middle. You can see it's a pretty tall table. I'm sitting on a tall stool, and it's just about right for me.
But that is also adjustable.
Yes, but that is adjustable. It's these two bolts here, and then a weird little system, but it's not terribly difficult. If you are interested in getting one or have further questions on details like that, you can always shoot me an email. It's just Ryan at springfieldleather.com. I'm always happy to answer any questions on anything leatherworking related, even if you're just tangentially leatherworking related. I'll probably still be excited to help, even if I don't know the answer. Let's see. Anybody had any questions floating around up here?
I don't see any more.
Foxy also says, not hurt ourselves? You haven't met me. Oh no, me and Liz were talking this morning about how, like, just every time we get new cuts and stuff on our hands, we hardly notice it because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the work. I enjoy it though.
Do you know if a Juki 441 table would fit this?
I don't have a clue.
I don't know.
I'm not as familiar with Jukis.
Honestly, the leather machine might know.
Yeah.
Like that, you could hit up Heather or somebody
Yeah.
over there. They might have a little bit more knowledge on the compatibility between
Yes.
brands.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like we said, a lot of the casting is the same. It's just gonna be the internals that are different.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall,
What machine?
441.
441.
441.
Yeah, these things though, I don't know, I have never seen anything this didn't want to sew through. Sitting through with Denny in his saddle class last year, using, I think we had the class 3, I don't think we had this back there yet, I can't remember. But we had a 3 or a 4 using for that saddle class, and I watched him sew, what was it, a dozen saddle skirt linings on in about 15 minutes. It was ridiculous. They're fast, he's very fast. It's almost like he knows what he's doing.
He's old, but he's fast.
You gotta watch him. Yeah, table is adjustable as long as you got people to hold the machine. You're absolutely right. I would almost recommend taking the machine off before you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and your belt tension. I've had a lot of customers ask, like, you know, what sort of, like, how many inches of deflection or millimeters of deflection are we looking for on our belt tension? And the exciting thing is they're not that specific. It's a V-belt, so as long as you don't smell hot rubber, you're not too tight. If the machine slips while you're sewing, you're too loose. And that's it. So just a bolt down here on your speed reducer to slide it up and down, and there's a lag bolt in front of the motor to tilt it back and forth for the motor to speed reducer belts.
Let's hear. Don't drill any holes in your machine head, please.
No, leave it
if
alone.
you are having problems that big, contact a professional before you do anything to void your warranty. These do have a limited lifetime warranty through Cobra for the original purchaser of the machine. But if you do anything like that, then you void warranty. So
Yes.
Call the pros first if you have an issue. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, and the pretty cool thing about industrial sewing machines like these is if you buy a 3 and find out you need to upgrade to a 4 at some point, these things don't lose value.
Yeah.
If you do some digging on like used machines, you'll see they're maybe $500 cheaper than new.
I was gonna say there was a dude I was looking at Facebook Marketplace last weekend, and somebody was selling their 26 for like just a couple, and he was like, if you go to Springfield Leather, they're like 3 months out on machines. And I was like, there you go.
He's not wrong.
I don't know if that's 100% true.
I think we've caught up a little bit.
I think we're doing okay. But yeah, he was.
Yeah, I mean, I got
3 weeks to get an MP4.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, so workhorse machines, they aren't for the faint of heart. They are big industrial machines, so the 26, I always say you'll have a better experience the more you get to know the machine and its mechanics. The 3 and 4, you need to get to know the machine and its mechanics. There's no just using it kind of casually.
Yeah. They do come palletized. So you do have to, I mean, this is with all of our sewing machines, it comes on a pallet. So if you live on a weird country road with no turnaround, like delivery driver may not come to you. So just be aware of that. Freight is fun.
Yes, if you have it shipped to you, it will be freight on a pallet. If you want to pick it up from the store, you'll have to come visit us and spend time with us. I know that's rough.
Oh, no.
But we have had people bring their trucks. We can forklift the pallet right in the back of your truck if you'd like to.
Oh, there you go, Foxy. Look, our website says 2 months.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know it's...
That's probably... Who knows? You just call. Call and see what the current ETAs are.
Call the office. Angela's usually got a handle on those sorts of things. She saves my bacon on the daily. Let's see. Anybody have any questions on this? I feel like I've really burnt my knowledge on this machine, honestly. Like I said,
I feel like this one's actually a lot simpler than the 26.
Yes, there's less going on with this machine, but you need to know it better.
Yeah.
All right, talk for a second. Let me go ask Angela.
1 second of talking.
Okay.
I
I'm
have something I
teased.
don't know if I should
Multiply by
ask.
50.
What?
So you keep saying knock it out of time.
Yes.
What happens if you do?
Oh,
What does
that's
it
a
mean to
great
be
question.
in time?
Yeah.
So, machine timing. I'm gonna move this guy.
Yeah.
So it's just my face.
Just take it out.
That's true. So your sewing machine timing is basically the timing between your top drive and your bottom drive.
Yeah, because once we
So-
like the thing needs to do this, right? So your top thread needs to loop and your bottom thread needs to loop at the same time.
So, that is the true complexity of sewing machines, is how one motor drives like 8 different spinning neighborhoods.
That's a good.
So, with this one,
We are a Walt Disney ride.
yeah. So with this, what you're looking at is that little kind of pusher bar I showed in the bobbin case that, gets your needle ready to be caught by the bobbin hook. If that doesn't swing up at the right time, so let's say your needle is too high, that swings up, then your needle comes down, it's going to hit that arm, break the needle. No good. Or worse yet, bend something in the bobbin case. If your needle comes down too early, it just won't make a stitch. You'll just have it sitting there doing its thing, but nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which it's basically like the top and the bottom are in sync.
Yes.
We've got 2 ice skaters and they are skating perfectly in sync.
So what can knock things out of time is if you've got one of those situations like I was talking about where the needle's too early or the bobbin's too early and they run into each other, that can jostle something enough to where they will actually reseat slightly.
Mhm.
So everything is held together with set screws because it's all parts on cogs on axles. And those
I
can
need a shirt.
scoot slightly.
Parts on cogs on axles.
Well, so yeah, you just have shirts all the dumb stuff I say. But yeah, so if it seems like it's just refusing to sew, call up. It may be a timing issue, and we may be able to help you over the phone on it.
Yeah, if you have broken your needle in a semi-traumatic way recently, and since then nothing is really working
Yes.
quite
That's
right,
definitely a timing
you
issue.
are probably out of time.
Yeah, you're out of time.
Yeah.
Jim is really good at helping with those things. He handles them a lot.
I was gonna say a lot of times he can kind of work you through some things on the phone if it's a kind of a minor situation.
If we need to, Andy has sent videos back and forth with people with them sending us a video of their machine and the noises it's making.
I will
And
also
then he'll
say
send back how it should work.
Leather Machine has a really good network of kind of like machine mechanics scattered across the United States. And if you are close enough, if you are in a big enough pickle and you can't get it figured out, a lot of times they will have someone that can come to you. I know I had somebody up north several years ago that their machine was in a bad way or somehow it was like something did not go right. And I was able, there was a guy, he was like 2 hours away and he was able to drive over.
Wow.
Like they will contact and they'll make it work. So if you do get to the point, and you're not near a sewing machine mechanic that can help you, because most of the time I think like if you have a sewing machine store, a lot of times they will be able to be like, you can call them and they could probably help you through it if you need somebody that's not you to work on it.
Call
But
them
if,
before you bring the head in because they may not be able to help and you just did a lot of lifting.
but if you're in a weird kind of remote area and you don't have one of those places handy, call up Leather Machine and be like, hey, I'm in this situation. They might have somebody that you can either meet them, come to the, or they can come to you. I know I've at least used that once in my life. It's somewhere like up in Michigan or something.
And the heads on the 3s and 4s are in about the 120, 125 neighborhood pounds. So move
heavy.
them carefully.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourselves.
Please don't drop them.
Yeah,
That
don't.
That would
drop
also
them,
be
that'd
bad for your
sad.
timing.
Yes, they weigh enough to destroy themselves.
All right, Tony, what do we got?
What you got?
So we have a 3 and a 4, and we have 26s on the way. If you're picking up,
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
If you need it to be
Shipped.
shipped to you, I think we do all of our drop shipping from the machine.
I think
now,
it's direct through them. Yeah.
and that's 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, not
3 to
nearly
4
as
weeks
bad.
for drop shipping, which is anything that you're not going to come pick up here. And would you say
26s we should have like in 3 or 4 days maybe,
okay?
and then we have a 3 and a 4.
Does painting it void the warranty? I can't imagine it would, but I'm not willing to say for certain because I haven't read over the warranty. But the main thing is don't get any paint on any moving pieces or oil ports.
Yeah.
And you should be fine. But if you're really wanting to get a firm answer on the warranty, call Leather Machine Co. They'll be able to answer it for you right away. All right. Well, hey, we did it. Ooh,
That was a-
crispy.
Best one yet. Alrighty, folks. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And we're
wheel.
going to spin this wheel to see what crazy deals you guys get this
Because
weekend.
Andy made this cool wheel.
Alright.
I love that Justin kind of said, or Justin was like, hey, we need a wheel, like a prize wheel. Andy knocks it out of the park.
Alright, I'm
What's
holding her down.
Saturday and Sunday gonna be?
What is Saturday and Sunday gonna be?
It's kind of a weak spin, but we got it. Let's see, we got 15% off CD items.
15% off Crazy Day items
Ooh.
this weekend.
So Crazy Days is
All
a
Crazy
little
Days.
crazier.
All Crazy Day
Have
items
been released.
that have been
Thus
released so
far,
far, 15% off. So if you've been waiting to get something, do it this weekend.
If you want the deal to be a better deal, there it is. I
That's
spun
right.
it for you.
15% off. That's awesome.
I know.
Right on.
All right, Saturday and Sunday only.
Alrighty, folks. Well, good chatting with you. Go play with your machines, but be nice to them.
Love your machines. Don't.
Yep.
Be nice. All right. Hey, Rusty.
Hey,
What's up?
timing's everything.
All right.
Timing is
Bye,
everything.
everybody.
Bye, guys.